So now that we've explored setting up a 20-page document and with our pages palette open, and by the way, if you can't find your page palette, all of your palettes here, all your options palettes are listed under the window menu. So you can see that pages is turned off here. You can also see that the quick key F12 is also one of the keys that you can hit in order to open up this particular document. And other things that we take a look at here, if you're looking for color palettes, under the color menu you'll find your swatch palette, which is what we use quite a bit of in InDesign. Also, if your tools, this nice toolbox over here disappears by accident, you've accidentally clicked the tool or you've used a quick key combination and it's disappeared, you can simply go under the window menu and find your tools. We also have other character and paragraph type tables that are available here if for whatever reason you lose this band across the top. So now we're going to take a look at in the pages palette here. So I'm just going to move the pages palette out so it's out on its own. This pages palette is where we can see that we have our placement text on page 1. You can see it on the thumbnail all the way down to page 20. So this is how we use our pages palette. You can double click on pages within what we call the live area. These are your live pages. But what we're going to take a look at is this master page. So what are we going to use master page items for? Well, on every single page, I would like to have what's called a automatic page number. So I want to label every single one of these pages for my reference guide. So I'm going to Control a plus to zoom in. And using my spacebar, I can get the hand tool and click and drag my page into where I want to preview that. With the text tool, I'm going to click and drag a box underneath my margins, and I'm going to type in an X for the number of the page, a space, and this is my reference guide. So my page number is on the outside of my left-hand page. So I'm just going to copy this information, Control C or Command C on a Mac. I'm going to scroll over to the right-hand page and I'm going to click and drag another box over here. Notice that I'm trying to line it up also with my pink lines here. I want perfect alignment so my work looks clean and professional. As I drop that text box there, I'm going to Control V to paste, and I need this X on the other side of my text, so I'm going to highlight that and delete it and click on the right hand side of reference guide, leave a space and type in a cap X here. Now I also need that to align right, so I'm going to move across the top of my screen and choose the align right button so that I now have the text placed exactly where I want it, beautifully aligned here with my margin. And with my black arrow, I'm just going to click Command 0 to see everything in view here. So there's my right hand page and there's my left hand page. So if I take a look at my thumbnail, you can just barely see at the bottom of page 2. You can see that reference guide is on page 2 and page 6. So now that I've put it on this master page, everything that's related to a master, you can see here this letter A on page 2. Well, that refers to the A master page. I can create as many master pages as I'd like with items on there that will always show up on these pages here. Now, we do have a problem here on our cover. You can see that our cover is based on an A master as well, which means we have a page number on the front, but we don't need it there. So in order to remove that, we could unlock it by hitting Control Shift and clicking on it to unlock it, then deleting it. Or we could simply go up to our page palette and see this page that says none. Well, there are no master items on that page. So what we can do is click on that page up here, click and drag it over top of this page here until you see it highlight. See, it adds a black outline. And that letter A that's in there is going to disappear because it's become what's called a Nun page. None meaning that there are no templated items. It's not related to any of the master pages here, master A. If I want to return that, I simply click on the master A page, drag and drop it back on, and you'll notice the letter A reappears in the thumbnail, telling us that that master page item is going to reappear. I'd like that to disappear again, so I could do either a Control Z in order for that to disappear, or I can click on the page, Nun Page, and drag and drop that over top to remove the templated item, and you can see the page number is gone again. And that is how we use these master items. But there's something else I want to do to this master item. So if I double click on a master to make sure that that page is indeed my master page, and I click on this item so that when I zoom in, Control plus, it zooms in on the item I have selected. We don't want the letter X on all our pages. So if we looked at page 259, you'll see that we just have a letter X as a page number. Well, that's not adequate for obvious reasons. So we're going to highlight that letter X, and we are going to go under the Type menu to Insert Special Character, Markers, and tell it to become our current page number. Notice it turns into the letter A. That is because we are on the A master page. However, if I double click on page 4, take a look at that. It's automatically numbered for us because page 4 is page 4. Double click page 8. It's automatically page 8. So let's do that again, and this time we'll do the right hand page in the master area. So we have to double click. You know it's highlighted when it's highlighted here. We know we've got the right page, and we'll scroll over. We're going to highlight this X. We want this X to turn into our automatic page number. So once again, it's not that intuitive, so you have to follow this step by step. So we highlight the letter X. And again, we're on our master page because we don't want to create this on our live pages. We want it as a templated item. Under the Type menu with that letter highlighted, we go down to Insert Special Character, Markers, Current Page Number. Again, it turns into a letter A because we are on our A master page. So if we now double click page 5, we now have a page 5 number. Now, other things we can do on these pages, on the master page, if I scroll back over here, maybe I want reference guide to match the same color. So I'm going to repeat using the repeat principle with color, and I'm going to make that red and bold. So under the textiles here, I'm going to choose a bold font. So the style of Mini and Pro will be bold. And I also want to change over here the color to red. Now that I've done that here, if I double click on page 6, I'm on page 6 and the change has been made. The change will be on every single page with the letter A on it related to that left-hand page. So now I need to go to my master page, double click, and do the same thing on the right-hand side. So I'm going to highlight my text. You could always copy and paste directly into there, but there's not a lot going on here. There's not a lot to change, so it won't take us long. And so again, we bolded the font using our styles underneath the font, chosen font. And I've moved over here to the right to change the color to red. And once again, I can double click on page 17 now, and you'll see that the page style has turned to a red bold font, and there's my automatic page number, page 17. And that is how you use master page items and setting up your automatic page numbers.